got a new bike in the shop. I just picked up this 2016 KTM 450 XCF. I picked it up from a friend of mine who's trying to sell it. He asked me if I would help him get it ready to sell. So I'm going to do a build series video on this, and it's going to be a budget build series. I'm going to use some parts that I've got laying around already and try to bring this thing up to date. This bike's just a little rough around the edges, so I'm going to do some things to make it look better cosmetically, put some tires on it, and just generally get it ready for trail riding or hair scrambles, something like that. So let's take a closer look at some of the things I plan to do. So obviously this bike needs a little TLC. Definitely going to need to put some grips on it, throw some hand guards on there. I'm going to need to check the fluids and maybe check the valve clearance. Bike runs really good right now. I don't really have any indication that the valves would be out of spec. That's always something to know when you're going to sell a 4-stroke bike, whether or not the valves are in spec. So this thing's going to need a good cleaning up, and it's going to need tires. The tires are pretty chewed up. I've got a pile of used tires, so I should be able to find some tires that are in much better shape than that to put on there. While I'm replacing the tires, I'll check the wheel bearings. I've already checked the brakes. The brakes look good on the front and rear of the bike. I'm going to pull all these graphics off and see what the plastics look like underneath. I've got a lot of these plastics as spares from my other bike, so I should be able to pick out the best pieces and make it work. One of the good things is I do have some shrouds. Previous owner had already bought some new shrouds from KTM, so I have some new shrouds to go on there. I'll just have to find some other plastics to look as new as possible. When I put hand guards on, I'll probably go ahead and put some bar inserts, threaded bar inserts, and I don't think it's going to need a whole lot more than that. Like I said, the bike runs great. Obviously, as I work on it, as I change tires and other things, I'm going to check bearings and make sure everything's in working order. What are the modifications that are going to be most attractive to a potential buyer for a 450 XCF? Let me know what you think about that in the comments. So the first thing I'm going to do is take these old grips off and install these threaded bar inserts. Videos. Normally you can use compressed air to get these grips off on the clutch side. Just like that. So I prefer the threaded bar inserts for attaching hand guards over these clamp type screws, where when you tighten the screw it spans inside the bar. These tend to come loose over time, and when the handlebars hit the ground they tend to loosen up and move. The threaded bar inserts are just a better way to attach hand guards to the end of the bar, in my opinion, so I like to use these. These threaded bar inserts, they come with the tap, but they do not come with the handle that you need to turn the tap. So if you're going to get these, you're also going to need a handle or some way to turn it as you go in. So the tap handle in my tap and die set is not large enough for this particular tap, so I just found a socket that works alright. It's not ideal, but it'll get the job done in this situation. You're going to want to use some lubricant on this. Just some light oil, something, doesn't really matter. Okay, now I'm going to test this threaded insert to see if I need to continue tapping or if it's alright where it is. Okay, that's perfect. It seats in there and it's just flush with the end of the bar. So now I'm going to remove it, put some Loctite on it, and reinstall it. So I've got some ODI Rogue Grips here that were on my race bike for a while. No longer on there obviously, but they're still good. So I'm going to put these on the 450 XCF. So I need to find the right throttle cam. That looks really close. I might just be able to use this one. So I've cleaned the bar end and I've cleaned the grip. Make sure there's no grit in there, and I'm going to put some dry lube on here. I'll make sure there's nothing binding or anything. I want to leave some of the bar exposed because the handguard is going to rest up against the end of the bar, and I want to make sure there's no interference with the grip and that the throttle operates smoothly, and that if there's a crash, you don't want the handguard contacting, or the bar or the handguard contacting the grip and causing the open throttle situation. You gotta love these lock-on grips. Makes it easy. I'll need to adjust these later, so I'm just gonna kind of snug them up for now. I can't put the handguards on yet because I'm gonna reuse some old handguards I've got, but I had to order some new bar clamps. So I'm waiting on those bar clamps. In the meantime, I'll get started on some other parts of the project. I forgot to mention the purple power band I'm gonna put in.